of wonderful blessings. Make you small son a good Christian. Make you small son a good Christian. My knees on the floor to say thank you, my Lord, for the lights that come through this door. Your love is the key to change the entire world. Using these chains wisely, we will live in peace and harmony. Helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all these transformations, we just have to put love in action. Helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all these transformations, we just have to put love in action. Crystal eyes, colors of the sky, Gray bushy beard, Santa's look-alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Blue crystal eyes, colors of the sky. Gray bushy beard, Santa look-alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the good, receive our prayers and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ.
Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, mate, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face, love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrows, no more bad days, no more cries, no more dark cold place, no more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face, love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days, no more cries, no more dark cold place, no more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face, love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days, no more cries, no more dark cold place, no more fear, no more fight. Let the sun on the way shine, shine. Let the sun of the new age shine, 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 shine.
glad and never become blue. Bright sun will shine. Let Jesus' love warm you up. Live happy your life and never think of giving up. Bright sun will shine. Let Jesus' love warm you up. Live happy your life and never think of giving up. Jesus by your side. His way is much easier to go. You'll be glad and never become blue.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Publio, and tonight I'm going to be the host of our Spiritism Talk. So, everybody is welcome to our meeting. To begin, I'd like to share some announcements with you. If it's possible, turn off your phone notification. Maybe you can find a quiet place if it's possible. And we have to inform you that our meeting is 30-minute presentation followed by the question and answers. And everybody is welcome to ask questions. And in the end, we have a spiritual treatment. So in this spiritual treatment, we will have the magnetized water. So for this, we'd like to ask you to set aside a container with water. So it's gonna be magnetized. I'd like also to inform you that our meeting is retransmitted every Tuesday by our Spiritist Canada Facebook and YouTube, and also for the Conference Continental America Facebook, and Wednesday is retransmitted by Kardec Radio, YouTube, and Facebook. So, if you'd like those topics, we will start soon next fall. The Get to Know Spiritism. It's an online free course, and everybody is welcome to come over here, talk to us, study with us, and it's gonna be a very good time. Share those moments, learning together about the Spiritism. So we're gonna post soon the link that you can register your name, your informations, so we can stay together. Say, stay tuned. If you don't know yet, our group offers you a gospel at home. What is this? It's a time that we dedicate for the gospel of Jesus Christ at home. So if you request, the link is going to be posted later on, and you can request in a group. Will help you to start to follow you and help you to maintain the gospel once a week. So you are welcome to request. This can be requested for you, for your friends, for your family, because as we know, everybody is benefit when we have the gospel at home. So we also have Vibration. It's a book where you put the name, your name, or someone very, very close to you that you care a lot. So you ask for prayer to him or her. So there is a link in the chat that you can ask for prayer, and the group will together, we're gonna pray together. So feel feel comfortable this book is only for this group. It's not gonna divide with everybody. So feel free to ask for vibration. And talking about vibration, tonight we still continue finishing the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 28, Prayers to Others, and a collection of Spirit prayers, items 42 to 58, that will be facilitated by our beautiful sister Anna from USA. I'd like to invite you, Anna, to come over here. And if you want to ask a question in the end, everybody is welcome to put any question if you don't understand. Also, if you want to learn a little bit more, we're going to post a link where you can download the gospel according to Spiritism. So you can study, you can compare, you can study together. So everybody is welcome to our Spiritism talk. So now I'd like to invite our dear sister Anna to join with us. And she also will do the opening prayer. Hello, Anna. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you, my friend?
Now I'm feeling much better because I can share those moments with you. And you know that you live here in my heart, in our hearts, because Anna is a sister from far away. She's from USA. We are here in Canada, but she's planning already to move to Canada. Right, Anna?
Right. It's all America, right? North,
Yes.
Central, and South America. A beautiful
Like
continent.
like I said, everybody's welcome to this Spiritist talk. So feel comfortable. Make this meeting your house. Thank you for coming.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. Thank you guys for hosting me from time to time. It's always great to be here. All right. So, like Publius said, we will continue talking about prayer. So, it's only fitting that we start with a prayer too. So, let's close our eyes. Let's breathe in and out, letting go of all the worries of the day, grounding ourselves in the places where we are, keeping full awareness where we are right now, but at the same time, seeking the presence of Jesus, of our guardian angels, of all the good spirits. And as we continue to breathe and we invest ourselves into this space and into this time of study, let's ask our Master Jesus to be with us, to expand our intelligence, to open our hearts, to make our spirit so big that they can absorb all the messages that He has for us. Master Jesus, thank you for your presence here. Thank you for all we have in our lives, even for the things that we consider lacking or difficult. We know that with your presence, with your help, nothing is impossible. So we stay with us, Jesus, in every single moment, especially in those dark moments where we might doubt, we might fear, we might hesitate. May your light, your grace, and your peace be with us today and always. And so be it. All right, my friend. So continue talking about prayer. So let me see. Can Rodrigo pull it up or can I just? There we go. Thank you so much. All right. So today we're going to talk about prayers for others, right? Items 42 to 58. So I just want to remind everybody, maybe you are also watching us out of sync, and you know what, it's totally okay. We are happy to have you with us and share with us any moments. We have been talking about chapter 28 of the Gospel according to Spiritism, and that chapter talks about a collection of Spiritist prayer. So we had Marcelli already talking about the general prayers, including the Lord's prayers, the prayers in the beginning of the meetings, the Spiritist meetings, like it's our tradition to start and to finish with a prayer. And also about prayers for mediums. Then we have Rod talking about prayers to oneself, and there are so many different situations and examples of prayers that Kardec gives in this section that we had to separate that in part 1 and 2. Today we'll talk about prayers to others, but I want to make sure that you also know that the chapter continues and we'll continue working on those sections of the same chapter, and we'll talk about prayers for those no longer on earth. And that is such an important thing because there's in some religious practice there is this question: can we pray for people that are not on earth anymore, that are discarnate? And also the last part is prayers for the sick and obsessed. So the first section there in prayers for others, Kardec reminds us to pray for someone who's afflicted. And again, just as to put us all on the same page, this chapter goes into, it has a like a subtitle. Then we have Kardec has a little preface where he explains a little bit about the importance of that type of prayer. And even he refers to other parts of the gospel, the previous chapters, where we can know a little bit or dig a little bit deeper into that topic. But he also provides some prayers, right? Sometimes people even say, and that's why they ask for others to pray for them. They sometimes feel a little maybe a little shy, or that maybe I cannot just formulate this prayer. So we have some examples there that we can start by repeating those, and then later we feel more confident also to pray. And also it's important because sometimes we might be so emotionally touched, or or so tired or depressed, or with that difficulty that we're going through sometimes can be so overwhelmed that it's really hard to find the right words. So it's very nice to have this chapter. So if you don't know where to start, then you just can flip on one of these sections and find sometimes at least one example, but sometimes two or three different examples of prayers, around that theme. They are ready for you to use. So we'll start with praying. Remember, this is prayers for others. So we'll talk about some of the prayers we should be doing as a spiritist for others in this case. So for someone who is afflicted, and if we think about affliction, who is not afflicted by something, right? In this world of, trials and expiations that we live right now in this time of transition. Sometimes if it's not our own situation, sometimes there's some difficulty, affliction that is going on with somebody that we loved or somebody that we know, maybe a neighbor, maybe a coworker, maybe a family member. Or sometimes, even if we just turn on the TV, we can see, there's war, there are so many things, right? So, uh, the question, even just to tease us a little bit, and so that we can start reflecting a little bit. So, if there are afflictions, right, can a prayer interfere with someone's afflictions? Can a prayer make it better? um, you know, can we change um, God's laws or God's plan by praying, right? And so maybe we'll not be able to change the laws, right? But on the flip side, Is prayer an act of charity towards others during their afflictions? So I really had these two questions, and I think these are good reflections when we're thinking about praying for others. And one of the most common things is affliction, because affliction is a general category that we can add so many different, things under this category. So sometimes I might say, well, I'm not going to pray for them in that affliction because maybe they need to go through that. You know, it's God's plan. I'm not going to change it. But at the same time, as Christians, we need to be careful not to be indifferent, right? We might not be able to change totally, but as our big calling is really to exercise charity towards others, even if we're praying for strength, for hope, right? For them to go through that trial, that affliction, the best that they can. If we cannot make the pain or the affliction go away, at the least we try to support that person in prayer, right? As if we have kids, most of the times that's what we want to do, right? We want to take all the pain away. We want to bring it to ourselves. We don't want others to suffer. But sometimes, even when that is not possible, there is a way through prayer that we can make that, we can ask for strength. We can ask for, in the prayer, we can really ask for strength, for resilience, for hope, right? For wisdom, for peace, right? In that situation. So Kardec tells us that if it is in the interest of the afflicted person to continue their test, then any request we might make will not shorten that test, right? But it will be a lack of charity to abandon this person, alleging that our prayer will not be heard, right? So, apart from this, even if the test is not interrupted, they may obtain some degree of consolation that will lessen their suffering, right? So, there's always, the benefit of praying for somebody. Um, he continues saying that what is really useful for someone who is going through this test is courage and resignation, right? Without which, whatever they're going through will bring them no results. Because without these attributes, they will have to go through it all again. So, we have trials and expiations, but those are not necessarily to make us suffer. It's, a way for us to either repair or for us to be tested. Can we pass the test? To test how morally we are, in which stage we are. So, when we are in these big tests, right, and these afflictions that really require a lot from us, what we really need is really courage and resignation, right? Nobody wants to be going through difficulties and not conquer that or not overcome that obstacle at the end, right? But without courage and resignation, right, we might actually lose, the products or the benefit of that test and that trial. And then we would have to be tested again, right? So Kardec reminds us that praying for somebody who is afflicted, we have to consider that there is the possibility that maybe that person really needs to go through that situation. But it doesn't mean that we will abandon them, that we would not still ask for, morally to strengthen them so that they can go through that trial the best possible. And so he says that with this objective in mind, we should direct our efforts towards asking the good spirits, right? Asking Jesus, God, to help them, or by lifting their morale through counseling and encouragement, and even by helping them in a material way if this is possible. So, we cannot say that if somebody's hungry, oh, I'm not going to give you food even if I have it, because oh, that might be a trial, that might be a test. I mean, this is God's plans. That would not be charitable, right? If it really is a test, it can continue later, but at that point you are an opportunity. You are a resource, that God can use to actually alleviate some of that pain, right? So, in such cases, he says that prayer can have a decisive effect by directing a fluidic or a magnetic current towards them with the intention of fortifying their morale, right? So, because we recognize that suffering is not, it can take a toll on people, that it's we see as spiritists, we see the purpose of it, but of course nobody, we don't need to evolve just by suffering, and we are here to help each other. And remember, God is just, he's good, but he's merciful. So mercy kind of permeates everything that has God in it, right? That has God's justice in that. So if God is merciful to us, why can't we be merciful to others? So we can have, we can lift their spirits, through counseling and encouragement, helping them in a material way. And yes, at that point, praying for them will also, give them that energy, that can boost their spirits, that can give them the strength that they feel like, okay, this is a problem, is a big problem, is a huge problem, but I can overcome it, right? And like I said, Kardec in here, he would suggest what is the other chapters that you would, go to talk a little bit more about those things. So the other thing that Kardec tells us that it's a good example to pray for others. It's at an act of thanksgiving for a benefit received by someone else. So if we're praying for ourselves, sometimes it's easy for us to be thankful and say a prayer of thanks, of thanksgiving to God for a benefit we receive. But do we do that for also for when somebody else receives something? So Kardec tells us that those who are not dominated by selfishness, they rejoice over the good that comes to their neighbor, even if they did not make a solicitation by means of prayer. So even if somebody got something good, even if I didn't ask for that or I was not praying with that intention, but they got it. So now I can pray in thanksgiving to God for um, that benefit that they received. Now things are getting a little bit more complicated. So, yeah, praying because others got something good, praying for others who are suffering, easy. Maybe. How about praying for our enemies and those who wish us ill? Dun-dun-dun-dun, right? That is a little bit more difficult, right? But that is one of the uses also of prayer. And actually Jesus himself, right, he said love your enemies, right? So Kardec reminds us that that maximum, love your enemies, shows us all that is more most sublime in Christian charity, right? And but it is explained in the gospel according to Spiritism. What does that really mean, love your enemies? So it doesn't mean necessarily that you're gonna have the same tenderness for an enemy as you have for a friend, because that makes no logical sense, right? So by these words, Jesus is teaching us to forgive the offenses, right? To forgive all evil, done unto us, and to repay all evil with goodness. So a prayer for our enemies and those who wish us ill, it's actually paying ill, right, evil with goodness, right? It's not paying it back. It's not adding evil, to evil, but it's doing the opposite. So Kardec reminds us that that is a conduct, a Christian conduct that has worth in God's eyes, but it also serves to show us humanity, or man in this general sense, the nature of true superiority, right? So if we want to um, cancel something, let's say we want to fight evil, we cannot fight evil with evil. That is going to give evil, more power. So to fight evil, I have to use goodness, right? I have to use the opposite. And what a true nature of superiority, right? You are so above those things that they don't hurt you, right? That you actually feel inclined to pray for the ones who are persecuting you. Just like Jesus himself is a great master, right? He taught us like with words, but a lot with example, right? At the cross, when he was being, you know, um, ashamed there, and people were using violence with him. He did not repay right evil with evil, but he was serene. He was actually even praying for those and saying that, Father, forgive them, because they don't know what they are doing. And that remind me also of this passage, right, from Matthew, that is also in chapter, I think here the reference is chapter 12, love your enemies, from the Gospel according to Spiritism. But that chapter starts with Matthew 43 to 47, where Jesus says to us, "You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than others? Do not even pagans do that, right? So Jesus, I think it's just so beautiful. But in my opinion, he's always asking us to go the extra step, right? So it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But no, I want you to go further. I tell you, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, so you may be children of your Father in heaven. So it's about that superiority, right? That Kardec talks in that preface about this. Because it's the true charity there, right? And anybody, right, can just be nice to people who are nice to them. But us Christians are called to another level, to go one further step, to go one step up, right? And actually to love our enemies, right? So when Kardec reminds us in this chapter to pray for those who wish us ill, that is really based too on the words of Jesus from the gospel, where he says, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. In the same line, so we should be giving thanksgivings to prayers of thanksgiving for blessings received by our enemies as suggestions for prayers for others. So if we do not desire already evil towards our enemies, that's good. But Kardec tells us that that is to be only partially charitable. And actually, Jesus calls us, right? The gospel calls us, Spiritism calls us to be fully charitable. So true charity, he says, consists in wishing our enemies, right? Enemies, and consisting in wishing them well and in feeling happy about the good that come to them. Yeah, I know it's not easy. I also told you that it started with easy suggestions and then it becomes a little bit more difficult in these suggestions of prayers for others. But we can see that it is totally in line with the gospel of Jesus, right? Now, he also reminds us to pray for the enemies of Spiritism. So, in the preface, he also reminds us from some parts from Matthew's gospel, um, especially the part of the Sermon on the Mount, and then, in another chapter. But here, he reminds us, so Kardec reminds us of the gospel where Jesus says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are thee when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad. For great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." Right? So the prophets before us, they were persecuted too. "And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body." So he reminds us, Kardec, and this is really something very in line with Spiritism. It's probably going to sound very familiar if you read other books, right, of the basic literature or other talks. But we Kardec talks that the from all the liberties that we have, the most inviolable one is the one of thought, right? And that liberty of thought or freedom of thought also includes the freedom of conscience. So if we cast a curse against those who do not think as we do, is to demand that liberty for ourselves, but refuse it to others, right? So if we want to have the right to think the way we want to think, then we need to extend that right to others too, right? And he says that once we curse against those who would not think as we do, this is a violation of the first commandment of Jesus, to which that charity and love towards one neighbor, right? And the neighbor is just the person next to you. It might be a friend, it might be an enemy, it might be somebody you agree with, it might not be somebody you agree with, right? So Jesus also talked about the this definition of neighbor. He was asked, "Who is my neighbor?" Right? And then he talks about a parable. So to persecute others for their beliefs they profess is to attack the most sacred right of humanity, which is to believe wherever they wish and to worship God as they see fit, right? To compel somebody to a practice of exterior acts similar to those that we ourselves practice is show that we are more attached to the form or to those exterior acts or protocols more than the essence, and to the appearances rather than to the conviction, right? So forced renouncement will never produce faith, right? We talk about a rational faith. So that's why we don't have any proselytism. We don't have a quota in Spiritism. We like to share Spiritism, to others, because it's good for us and we share so many things. Why not Spiritism? But we are not trying to insist to convert or to bring anybody into the faith or this religion if they don't want to, right? So to force renouncement will never produce faith. It can only make hypocrites. And Kardec really talks about that when people are forced into faith, when they are forced to believe just to believe, but it makes no logical sense to them, that is actually worse because it creates more people that are unbelievers than actually believers, right? So it says also it's an abuse of material power which does not prove the truth. Truth is sure of itself, it convinces and does not pursue because there's no need. So he goes a little bit more deeper from this chapter. This is probably the longer preface, um, where Kardec explains, right, about Spiritism. So Spiritism, he talks is an opinion, a belief, right? So we even refer to Spiritism as the Spiritist doctrine. Doctrine mean a set of principles, right? And of course, there is this side of Spiritism that is a philosophy, that is science, there is also a religion. And he says, even if it were just a religion, right, why should its adepts not have the liberty to call themselves the Spiritists, as do the Catholics, the Jews, the Protestants, or the participants of this or that philosophical doctrine, or this or that economic order? So a belief is either true or false. If it is false, it will fall by itself, seeing that error cannot stand up against truth when intelligence are enlightened. And if it's true, then persecution will not make it become false, right? So that's why we need to pray for the enemies of Spiritism, and we need to kind of um, really take any offense to Spiritism or to our faith or to the things we believe, to Christianity, with taking those things very natural, right? Because if it is the truth, it will perdure, right? It would stay. It will, the centuries will pass, and that, because it's the truth, will remain. And but he's saying persecution, if it's just true, persecution will not make it, become false. So there's no need for, violate anybody's conscience and, trying to force others to believe what we do. So he also says that persecution, though, so we should rest, very serene about this, because persecution, he says, is the baptism of all new ideas. They are great and just, right? So he says it grows with the development and the importance of the idea. So the more important and the more, it will grow, more persecution. He says the fury and the wrath of its enemies and is in direct proportion to the fear it inspires. So the more, we can think about Jesus, this idea of love your enemies, right? Pray for those who persecute you, forgive others. We are all children of God. God is good. All of that was really, really revolutionary. So it is really expected that there would be some resistance to it. As human beings, most of the time we don't like to change, and the more that the bigger that change or that ask, or the power of that idea, or even the magnitude of a new idea, then it's much easier for us to resist, right, than actually to just go ahead and accept. but he says this is the reason why Christianity was persecuted and why Spiritism today meaning, when he was writing the Spirit is the Gospel according to Spiritism, but he says this is with Spiritism today, and with the difference that the former was persecuted by the pagans and the latter by Christians. So it's true that the time of bloody persecutions is now past. Nevertheless, unfortunately, not totally gone. Unfortunately, but remember, he wants to remind us too that sometimes the persecution is not just violence or putting people in prison, like before, throwing the Christians, in the lion's den, all of those things. But sometimes it can be more, the attacking, not of the body, but more of the soul, right? And that can be attacking its most intimate sentiments and dear affections. And with that, families can be divided, exciting mothers against daughters, wives against husband. Even physical violence sometimes is not absent, and the body being attacked through the lack of material necessity. So sometimes even this pressure can be political or social or economical to against new ideas, you know or take people away from the means of livelihood, right, thereby he says attacking the believer through hunger. So he says, do not be upset by the blows that are hurled at you, because they are the proof that you have the truth, right? So if this were not so, they would leave you in peace and not attack you, right? So something that seems to have no value, actually, people would see no need to actually attack or go against that, right? So he says, following the example of the first Christians, carry a cross with dignity. Believe in the words of Christ when he says, blessed are those who suffer persecution for the love of justice, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul, right? Love your enemies, do good to those who do you evil, and pray for those who persecute you. So the persecution will not last for long, right? It would not last longer. So I wait with patience for the coming of the dawn, since morning star is already appearing on the horizon. So that is one of the prayers, and it's one that Kardec really in this section expands a lot, but I think it's really important because it's it shows us in which kind of light we should pray, right, or that we should profess our faith. um, Another prayer that Kardec talks about for others is a prayer for a child that has just been born. So he reminds us here of the importance of a reincarnation, but also the responsibility, right? So for that spirit that is being formed, not that it's being formed, but that is attached to that body that is developing, for that spirit is it's a big deal, right, to come here. So he's reminding us in this preface here that most of the time we are coming either for an expiation of our faults by means of the vicissitudes that we'll have to face, or undertaking a mission which will benefit humanity. So either one of these are very important, and they carry a lot of responsibility, right? So either if I'm here and I know that I'll have to some expiations, I have to repair, or I have to be have some tests, or because I'm still a spirit in evolving, right, maturing morally, or if I'm already a more mature spirit, a better spirit morally, and I come actually mission. maybe I didn't really need to incarnate here, but I'll come here with a mission who will benefit humanity. So I'll have to do great things. I'll have to be this good example, which means that I have a lot of responsibility. So in that stage where, the spirit is, it's just been born, it's the time for us to rejoice, of course, but for us to pray and strengthen that spirit too in these steps that they will have to take, because we know that this is a beautiful gift, is the gift of life, but it brings a lot of responsibility. We also came, and in others place, right? Maybe we had this chance, other didn't, but and we probably had a preparation, but will that preparation really work now? So it's like it's an athlete, right? So you have to go through this championship, so you have to go through this test, but you have been training, you have been listening to your coach, you eat well, you do all of this, but you can predict so much what is going to happen when the game starts, or when actually the game is over, what it will be the result. But how many times we got surprised? Okay, we thought it was this team that was going to win because it was better, and it was this other one, and or the other way around, or so this child that was just born is this little athlete now that has this whole series of games, or this long marathon that is an incarnation. So it's important for us to also to support them in prayer. And now I think this is probably one of the last ones, and it's for one who agonizes, right? So he explains that in this case, agonizing is the prelude of the separation of the soul from the body. So remember, we talk about general prayers, then prayers for oneself. So for us, for ourselves. Then now we're talking about prayers for others. And then we'll be starting to talk in the next section about prayers for people who are not, who have died, right? Who have discarnate, who are not on earth anymore. But this is one step before. So for people who are agonizing, right? And Kardec reminds us that this part of our life can be very painful too, right? This transition. So that you are going to be making the transition very soon from the material world to the spiritual world. And that can be really problematic, and can be very painful, especially for people who are very attached to worldly things and live more for the possessions of the world than for spiritual things, or that would be the nature of the next step, right? Or for those whose conscience is agitated by regrets and remorse, right? So, on the other hand, if people are, so even though it can be a painful, and it can be a kind of a confusing, step, the level or how deep that pain is going to be depends if you are more attached to worldly things, or if you feel regrets and remorse. And it's going to be less for people who actually have been preparing themselves, from a young age, or from mid age, or for some time already preparing them to disengage themselves from matter. They already see themselves not just as a body, right, but as a spirit that now is incarnate, but that nature, the true nature and the eternal nature of a person is the spiritual nature, not this, body incarnated here. So he says that those people, there's only a very thin link that can actually break, very easily. So the discarnating process is it's a little bit, more soft, not so painful. And I just wanted to, talk about that. I think a lot of us have read the books from under Lewis where also we talk about the discarnation of demons. So here, demons is this guy here, and we can see the spirits here. One is giving passes, then there's one here next. This other one is also giving passes. So really helping him, and he had some merit, but helping him at that moment to really, free his spirit, at the moment of discarnation. So our prayers are really important in that moment to help, with our fluids, with our magnetism, in that process. So to finish up, I wanted, I was thinking, how do we finish this talk today? And I was like, well, I know we will pray in the beginning, we'll pray at the end, but we talk about so many, you know, places to pray and options or opportunities that we have to pray for others for different reasons. So I thought, okay, let's finish with a prayer. And I chose this one so you can have also an idea of some of the examples of the prayers there. And this is one of the examples of the prayers um, for the enemies of Spiritism. So it goes like that. Lord, you have said to us through the lips of Jesus, your Messiah, blessed are those who suffer persecution for love of justice. Forgive your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. And he gave us an example of this by praying for his tormentors. Following his example, O Lord, we beg your mercy for those who despise your most sacred precepts, which are the only ones capable of bringing peace to this world and the next. As did Christ, we also say, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Give us the strength to support with patience and resignation their mockery, insults, slander, and persecutions as a test of our faith and humility. Free us from all idea of reprisals, seeing that the hour of justice comes to all, and we await it, submitting ourselves to your holy will. So be it. So that's what I had to share with you guys. And, like Publio said in the beginning, we really encourage you to read these chapters for yourselves, and see, reflect on the text itself. Thank you.
Hello, Anna. Well, look at it's amazing. It's amazing topic. And every week I'm learning, even though I already read this chapter, but every time I read and I listen someone talking, I learn more and more. So thank you very much. We have a couple of questions,
Okay.
but we are tight on the time. But it's the generic question, and
Mhm.
all of them it's look like together. Let's see the one here for myself. If I can help, I'm gonna put it through. Just a second here. If I can't help someone with some concrete action, can I help by praying for them?
Yes, definitely. Right. And that's the beauty of the prayer, right? Sometimes we just stop and we say, your problem might be so big. Maybe you need $1 million, or maybe, you lost a job. I cannot give you another one, or, you miss somebody, that discarnate. But the beauty of the prayer is that even if you do not fix the concrete thing, or if you don't do something concrete, you don't go there and give them money or do something, then you'll always be helping them because you strengthen them, right, morally, right? We're sending, right, this energy. We are little antennas of magnetic energy, and put that into love and purpose, then that gets a direction, and it goes to that person, and really that is also made of energy, and it can be just like, a balm of, refreshing, energy. So prayer, there's no what do you call, there's no side effects, right, or no contraindication for prayer.
It's true. The next one is together and part of the same answer. The first one is this one. Look, when we pray for others, do we also receive benefits?
Yes, I think so. Because, to ask for others, we will be, reflecting on ourselves. We're exercising charity there, right? We are really trying to not think about us at that moment, but actually think about this other person who needs the prayer. So I think it's really an exercise of love and of detachment, right? So I could be praying for so many things right now, but I'm going to forget myself a little bit now, and I am going to, think of somebody else. And every time we help someone in any way, we are also benefited by that.
And the last one, very quick. Sorry, taking your time, but it's for me. When I pray will not modify the situation, the person that is going through, I'm praying through, okay?
Right.
But will give him the strength to keep going to the difficulties in life, okay? So cannot modify the situation, but can give him a boost, like you said. How it
Right.
works? How it works?
That is a hard question, Publi. I think you were getting into exactly in this magnetic, energy, right? It's you know, every time, and a lot of spiritist books, they talk about that. Once we pray, our energy changes, right? And then this energy connects with the high, and then in some of the books, I don't know if it's in Nosolar or maybe others, and they see that people kind of light up, but then a lot of like little energy comes down and hits everybody else, in the same proportion, even if the energy that came out of everybody was not the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
intensity, right?
That's exactly what Chico Xavier used to say. When you pray for others, the first, let's say, the first energy, the magnetic action comes through you and
Mhm.
goes to the person.
Mhm.
So thank you very much. And today we're going to start doing exercise. We're going to do the prayer, the final prayer. So, like you said, it's very important to study together, to read again and again, and understand, because pray is not something automatic. It's something that comes from your heart, from your soul. So it's very important to understand how it works. Thank you, Anna, very, very much for
My
all
pleasure.
dedication.
My pleasure, friends. Bye bye.
Thank you. So now we're gonna start doing the exercise. We're gonna do the final part of our spiritist talk. That's the pass. So a spiritual care. What is spiritual care? So spiritual care is a pass, that a transfusion of spiritual energy, assisting our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Like we learned today, the best benefit from the spiritual treatment. Please follow the guide audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. So, as we talked in the beginning, the water that you set aside in a container will be magnetized by the spiritual world. So, everybody, you and your family, can be benefit from. So, everybody can use the water. So, spiritual care. Now, we're going to do a final prayer and before the treatment, and will be the final prayer of our meeting. So, for this, I'd like to invite you with your heart, all your heart. Close your eyes if it's possible, if it's good for you, and thinking about Jesus Christ teaching us how to pray. And today we learn how to pray for our enemies, for those that receive something, for those that are born, those that are discriminating, afflicted. Master Jesus Christ, allow the good spirits to be with us, to give the magnet field that we need to keep going in our trials, in our lives. Allow the good spirits to bless all the spirits that came here tonight. Bless all of us, incarnated and discarnated ones, today and forever. So be it.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capernaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, his warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
And my friends, my brothers and sisters, just remind you to follow us throughout our Facebook and YouTube channels. Also, the Spiritist Canada Societal Path of Light and YouTube and Instagram. So we'd like to say thank you to all of you that participate with us tonight or will participate in one of our transmissions, because you can access the YouTube channel and see anytime you want. So I'd like to say thank you very much. Invite you to join us next week. We're gonna almost finishing this chapter. We're still gonna talk about the prayer. So be with God today and forever. So be it. Thank you.
Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold night, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades flown down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their heart, with love in their heart. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. For my mother's offering, a harvest of wonderful blessings. Make you, small son, a good Christian. Make you, small son, a